that. Is that okay or not?
Okay, there you go, guys.
Say
3
hi.
minutes.
And
Too tempting.
the stream is on our homepage. So you can tell that, you can tell them when you get through. We'll leave it on the homepage for a while if you want to see it. And then I hope that I got the sound on. I checked it. It's not like, really strong, so remember. Okay. Make me proud, ladies. Okay.
2 minutes. Hey, Castleberry Elementary. Joy James.
I've got what, 2 minutes? Yeah. So, yeah.
Everyone say good morning, Miss Clark.
I will not let you.
Have you had your coffee? Yes, I've had 2, so I'm ready to go.
You've had our coffee's right there.
Are you? Did I turn this off?
I did too. I would like to see your picture of the big old room that we're saying. Okay. It is April 2nd.
Yeah.
Okay.
And adjust this because right now your head. So if you're going to stand or sit, we're going to
We're going to be
Standing.
Okay, just make sure you look. We can see you.
Good.
It's too far back. I think, right? Yeah.
Oh, ready?
Did you periscope from way back in the back? I was up here when you periscoped last time.
So if I pull a chair at Periscope, is that going to bother y'all?
It's on, she said. She said if you turn it off, it's going to go bottom. And it will, then it'll pull. So we just need to shut it. So she said it'll be around. And then whenever it will. Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are so excited you are here for We Are Makers. To begin, we just wanted to hopefully share something with you today that you can take back to your libraries and implement at least one thing maybe that we have. But before we begin, we would be amiss if we did not share about the wonderful support we have from our school district. Our administrators give us funding, they give us staffing, and they empower us to be creative, collaborative, and innovative on our campuses. And so this would not be possible without that support. But even with that support, we all know in here that we are the change makers on our campuses. And we have power, and we need to use it wisely. To begin, though, I want to introduce us. Go ahead, April. This is my friend April Scott.
Hello, I'm April Scott. I am the teacher librarian at Joy James Elementary in Castleberry ISD. I've been there for 3 years. Prior to that, I was in Irving ISD as a librarian, and just super excited to be here today.
And my name is Sallee Clark. It sounds like silly, but it's not. It's actually French, so you can say it's Sallee, and it makes it cool. And I am the librarian at Castleberry Elementary, and this is my 2nd year there. And I've been a librarian for 7 years and in education for 2. I think most of you have scanned. If not, you're more than welcome to scan to get to our presentation.
Got a few scanners still.
Like we were saying earlier, we are the change agents on our campuses, and we help create that maker culture. And so Miss Scott and I found this really cute little quote that we liked, and it says, "To be a librarian is not to be neutral or passive or waiting for a question. It is to be a radical positive change agent within your community." And I think that is so true, especially for us in libraries and advocating for ourselves and helping people understand that we are important and we are needed in our schools. So today there are 3 things we're going to be covering: the maker mentality, marketing your library and your makerspace, and of course our favorite, making. About 4 years ago, when this whole makerspace thing came out, we were hearing Fab Lab and makerspaces, Creation Station. The whole concept was hard for us to wrap our minds around. We were trying to figure it out, trying to figure out how does that work in the library, how does that work in the school. And then as we started hearing things that people were doing, we were like, oh, we already do that. Even though we don't have a space, we're doing it. And that's something April and I have found, is that a makerspace is not confined to a space, but it encompasses the culture of your library. And so it's our culture and what we do. So we do have spaces in our library for maker materials and maker things, but it's the way that we operate within our library and the culture that we bring not only to the library, but to the school. So to define it a little better, we have one of our favorite Mythbusters, a quick little video where he's going to share his vision. But as the video is playing, we'd love for you to go to our Padlet and jot down why you think makerspaces are critical for our students and what a maker mentality is. So here's the shortener and the QR code for it.
We also tweeted out the link to this, and we hope that throughout the day, with all of the makerspace activities that are going on and all of the maker sessions, that we can get tons of ideas just in one place, so it becomes a bank of resources for all of us, this one Padlet.
It's one of the great changes that America is lagging so far from the rest of the world in math and science. And I think for a period of about, it feels like 30 years, every budget cut, they were getting rid of the things in schools that ultimately were getting rid of the theater programs and art programs and shop programs. A number of high schools have a shop that no one's using because there's no teaching staff there right now, or they outnumber the schools with shops like 10 to 1. During the slide away from shop class and art class, we also don't do chemistry sets anymore. They now sell chemistry sets that have no chemicals in them because no one can afford the liability that someone's going to pick up something and drink it and put it in their eye. And making is inherently risky. You're going to cut yourself, you're going to get bruised, you're going to mess things up, you're going to fail, and that's absolutely critical. This right here is a computer's brain. So what you have is a power supply, a button, the ability to program it from your computer, inputs and outputs. This is sophisticated enough to go anything go by tomorrow. You want to follow the line, you want to buttons to figure out where it was, try to find the shape of the room. And this is like $20. This is beautiful. This is basically a bit of teaching kids about electronic hacking. And the code for the programming is essentially trivial to a mass PC. You know what it's like? Our risk averse culture is like this. We've already well established that kids who live in overly antiseptic environments develop allergies because their immune systems don't get a chance to develop. I think that also happens mentally. So if you don't get a chance to fail, you don't get a chance to try things and not get them right the first time, but keep on moving until you do get that specific kind of success, then you become so risk averse that in fact you have an allergy to trying new things. And that is the worst thing you can do. I think the maker culture absolutely is the engine of our return to actually having good science and mathematics scores for the kids.
We thought he really summed up well what a makerspace is. And a lot of what you heard him say was a growth mindset, a place to fail, a safe place to make mistakes and try again and be encouraged to try again. And that failure is not bad, but it helps us learn. And we are both very blessed within our district. That is the theme of our district this year, is having a growth mindset. And so to start off our school year, to set that culture for our school and our library, we began with a wonderful book called Awesome Dawson. I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, but throughout it, he is an inventor and he invents all kinds of crazy things, and of course has to save the world from his inventions. But throughout it, afterwards, we both had our students create I can statements of what they can do this year. And this sweet little girl on my campus really gave a great definition for what a makerspace is, and she's in kindergarten, so it was sweet, and here it is. I was like, wow, how cute is that? It was perfect for what a growth mindset is, and she's in kindergarten, and we want to continue to foster that and not take it away from her by making her feel intimidated and like failure is a bad thing.
All right, so building on what that sweet kindergarten child had to say, really growth mindset fits so well into the maker mentality. She's like, you try and you try again. And if you still don't get it, you try again. And we have so many kids as they get older that they're really scared to try. They're stuck in that fixed mindset of I'm as smart as I'm going to be, or I'm as talented as I'm going to be, and I can't change that. But makerspaces are the perfect place for them to try, fail, try it again, and figure out that, hey, I can do this. So we have been very, very intentional about doing activities that really foster the growth mindset, speaking to the kids in a way that fosters growth mindset, and then just having it everywhere in the library. So we created posters at the beginning of the year with some of the statements that we hear. I'm not creative. And then how to counter that with a growth mindset. I'm really gonna have to use my brain. I may have to experiment to get this right. You may not get it right the first time, and that's okay. It's okay to struggle. So we have those in all of our elementaries, just so that the kids are reminded of that on a regular basis. A big word for us is yet. There's a difference between not knowing and not knowing yet. I may not know how to figure out this makey yet, but I'm gonna do really awesome things with it once I figure it out. And if you would like to use any of the posters, we have them in a shared Google folder, and if you have this presentation, you can feel free to use them for inspiration, change them, whatever, anything that you would like to do with them. We wanted to share those with you. Another thing, and we've already saw it start to pop up on the Padlet, is, oh, but there are these obstacles, there are these hurdles we have to jump to get everybody on board for makerspaces. So just had this aha moment. We're like, well, we don't make problems, we make solutions. So that's part of our maker mentality. One thing that we have heard from teachers many times is, aren't kids just playing with us? I don't understand this makerspace thing. They're just playing. What's the value in that? So I found an article, The Maker Movement, A Learning Revolution. It is linked there on the presentation. Explains it great, that children are automatic, I mean, they're curious. It's inherent. They're going to be curious. They want to figure things out. And if we embrace that as educators, then what we have is students who, as they progress through the years, they're students who are going to tackle any challenge. We're like, well, my teacher allowed me to be curious and fail and figure things out, so now I'm becoming more and more confident in myself that I can figure out these solutions. And then you have older students that are changing the world and are creating new things and aren't afraid to fail because they know that that failure is going to lead to success down the road. Second problem is cost. Maker activities are too expensive. There's no way I can work that into my budget. We have found creative ways to do that. Start where you are. We went to a presentation yesterday with 2 other librarians in Easel, I believe, that had started very small. They started with bookmarks, and the high school kids loved it, they said. That's where they started. And it's okay to start where you are and then build yourself up. can always find people to donate those kind of things. Donate paper, donate extra stuff that's just laying around. Create a makerspace in a box with everyday items. Toilet paper rolls, paper, googly eyes, all kinds of stuff. Just have a box for the kids to play in. There are a ton of free online tools. Later, Sallee's going to show us an example with Scratch, where her kids have been coding. Tinkercard, can't afford Legos. There's Build with Chrome, which the kids just love to be able to go online and build with Legos, and it's a free website. And then be creative with fundraising. Donors Choose was great for me for getting started with Legos in my library. And she used her Scholastic money from her book fair. She just gets it as cash, and then she can use it for maker activities in her library. So there are ways. You just have to get creative and have a goal in mind. It all seems too overwhelming. I can't learn to use the tools. Well, I can't learn to use all the tools either, but the kids will learn to use the tools. I promise. They will figure it out, and they will be teaching you. I have a 5th grade girls that I have put them in charge of certain things. You're in charge of the 3D doodle pins. You're going to figure them out, and you're going to troubleshoot, and you're going to be able to help other kids. I have some kids that really love the makey-makeys, and so they work through all of the bugs for me. And so then that's not all put on me having to figure it out. I don't have time for maker activities. We have too much curriculum that has to be covered. We hear this a lot. And this is really going to be the bulk of our presentation, is that we have incorporated a lot of our maker activities into our library activities that we do with input from the teachers. So there's this collaborative effort where what they're doing in the classroom, then we feed it into guided maker activities, and then they extend on it in the classroom. And we'll have some examples to show you when we get into the actual making portion of this presentation.
All right, so now we wanted to share with you how we market ourselves and our libraries. We have a very strong online presence with social media. Both of us have blogs that we use weekly. Not only do we blog about what we're teaching in the library and what we're doing, we also blog a monthly newsletter. And these are hot commodities on our campuses. We do something called Collaboration Fridays or Fun Fridays. So we don't actually have library classes on Fridays. We have library classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But on Friday, it's an open flex day. But we actually have activities that are connected to the curriculum that they're studying in class. And the teachers can come and free sign up for any time that we're offering those activities. But whew, they go fast. And so I have to tell one of our teachers, Ms. Helgen, this week, we were coming and I was finishing up my newsletter. And she goes, "You haven't sent that out yet, right? Because I'm not going to get them there before it's out." I was like, okay, I'll put your name in because they go fast. And so we've found it's been very powerful to route everything to our blogs because the teachers know exactly where to come. And so we've branded ourselves online through blogging. We also are very active on Twitter, and we're finding followers all the time, and then we find people. It is the best professional development I have found for quick, even laying in bed at night and I can't go to sleep. It's awesome. So we love Twitter. We're also active in Google. We have YouTube channels, and we even have a Pinterest page that we're going to share with you today. And then within our libraries, we have library signage. So outside of our doors, we share signs that say exactly what we are studying throughout the week and what we're doing with each class. And the kids love it. So they're walking by and they're like, "Wait, what are we doing? What are we doing today?" And so they enjoy looking at it. But it also, again, pushes that maker culture and our library culture that we want. It's putting it out for everyone to see, always. We also have digital signage in both of our libraries. Like I said, our district has been so supportive, and they have provided us with 65-inch TVs. So we both have that on our walls. And so we have YouTube, or I have a YouTube channel that plays rotating pictures of what we do in the library all the time on it. And then April uses Picasa on her Google phone to play on her TV as well. Because again, it's just a visual reminder of what we're about, what our culture is, and what we're doing. And like we showed you earlier, the growth mindset posters, we have posters all over as another visual reminder of what we're about and what we're pushing in our libraries.
All right, now for the making. So we're going to start with activities that we have done that directly have curriculum connections and how we've worked with the teachers to make those effective and then even take them beyond the library. First one, we started last year doing a Winter Wonderland week, right the week before we get out for Christmas. It's a little bit crazy probably on every campus. So we do an altered library schedule, and we do mainly maker activities during that entire week, but we tie them to the curriculum. So my 4th grade science is working on force and motion. They've been talking about friction, weight, a bunch of different things that related to force and motion. So we put together an activity, Flying Elves, where the kids were in teams and they had to create an elf, and they just had popsicle sticks, paper, googly eyes, pipe cleaners, all kinds of stuff. So they could be creative. They gave their elves a personality, and they were really taking ownership of those things. And then their task was to use a balloon. We attached their elves to a balloon, and they had to then have their elf fly across the library. We pulled in math. They timed the elves. They recorded, compared, and they loved it. It was like a party in the library that day. It was great. It was a huge competition. And then my teacher took it another step, because we've really been pushing the kids to create digital portfolios and blogs. And that 4th grade teacher then, the next week, took the kids into the library and as an extension had them blog as far as their reflection and their thoughts about the activity. And I love the way this girl started out her blog. She was like, today my class went to the library to do a fun activity. I was wondering what Ms. Scott had planned for us today. So she knew that there was going to be something really cool in the library that day. But it was a great way to seamlessly incorporate a maker mentality, the curriculum that my 4th grade science was working on, and the technology that we were working on as a campus. And it worked out wonderfully. Kindergarten, we've been working on Eric Carle books of The Very Busy Spider. We talked about how spiders make webs, and I gave them just a spool, just string. We're like, let's create a spider web. So we worked together as far as like, passing the string back and forth to create a spider web. And then our focus was, what shapes do you see? And they loved it, because they added their hand or took their hand away. There were more vertices or less vertices, and the discussion was awesome just from creating that spider web with the string. Also with Eric Carle, and this was like a spur of the moment activity. I'm like, oh, they're doing story elements. And actually one of my kindergarten teachers was like, yeah, we've been working on, story elements and things like that. And we wanted to do something with Legos. And we're like, well, why not have them create their favorite character with Legos? They don't get a lot of time to do that in class. And we actually discovered some of the kindergartners weren't sure how to put Legos together because they didn't have them at home and they don't have that time in class. We're like, the library is the perfect place. We could build those characters, and then they had the opportunity to share their character, to talk to their table, to talk to us, and they loved it. Look at my caterpillar, look at my firefly. So it's just a creative way to get that extra discussion about story elements. And then probably the favorite of the year, can you build a snowman? Makes your library really messy, but really fun. I had done it the year before where I just gave the kids directions on how to make snow with shaving cream and baking soda. So I said, let's do it different this year. So I gave them just some different materials: shaving cream, conditioner, cornstarch, baking soda. And I knew combinations of all of these would make a substance like snow, but I left it open for them. I'm like, you use what you think you need to use, and we made it into a competition who can actually create a snowman that stays together. So that immediately made it more of a maker mentality, because they had to discuss, oh, well, is this gonna work? Is this gonna work? And they had to, they tried and tried and failed and tried and failed until this one group got a snowman in their bucket, and they were so proud of their snowman. But and again, I had science teachers came with them, so then they brought in that discussion of properties of matter, mixture solutions. They were like having this fluid discussion with the kids as they were building their snowman. And then with Makey Makeys, 4th grade was working on circuits. Perfect way to bring in Makey Makeys, and they created a human piano. We want to demo this with you if we have time at the end. We just want to make sure we get through all of our activities and give you all of our ideas, and then at the end we can demo the human piano. But the kids loved it. And then that was, I have an after school extended hours. That was a perfect way to kind of draw them in, because they didn't want to stop playing. I said, well, if you want to come Wednesdays after school, we have like open makerspace time and you could play with the makey-makeys as much as you want. And so the next day they're like, I want to play with makey-makeys. And so it worked both of those purposes there. To let Sallee share hers.
With the snow, we also made snow, but our third grade teachers were doing procedural text, and they were having a hard time getting the kids to understand how to write procedural text. So we came in and we did Samurai Santa. I don't know if you've read that book, but it's adorable. And so we read Samurai Santa, and of course in Texas, we don't have snow, so we made our own snow. And in doing that, the kids, I gave them directions that they had to follow to make their own snow, and they had a blast doing it. And then we also went into the lab after that because our students are trying to build a student portfolio, and they blogged using the procedures of how to make snow. And as a library, I have to tell you this part, this was the first blog that third grade did, and it was a huge success. And then the teachers took it from there and they ran with it. And it was just a great way to show them how we are connected to curriculum and how blogging is so powerful for their students. But my favorite one at the end of this, the sweet girl, she said, she gave tips about how to make snow. And she said, it's easier if you do this alone, just letting you know. And mix with your hands for better snow, but then make sure you wash them afterwards. So she made sure she gave you some great tips. Another activity that we both did was Save the Carrots. Of course, I'm sure most of you know Creepy Carrots. It's a classic. Love that book. And so after we read it, we decided to have the kids create a defense for the carrots. So we both have a friend that has a garden in her backyard. So we told them that the rabbits keep coming in and stealing her carrots. We needed help defending the carrots. And so we gave them various materials, and they came up with great ways to defend the garden. But I have to play this top video for you because it's really cute.
I was gonna put the foil in here, and then when it's ready, I was gonna shoot it out this way so it will scare the rabbit.
That would be a spitwad shooter. Yes. I was like, yes, I love it. Second grade, or first grade, that was a first grader. But second grade was working on combining materials. And so it went perfect with what they were working on, and they had to figure out how to make the popsicle stick stand up to make a fence. And so they figured out they could tape the straws to it to do it. And another way that we've embraced this culture within our district and our schools, the teachers have standard-based bulletin boards, and this teacher took it and put it as her bulletin board for the month. And so it shows how, the library can be effective within your schools. Oh, sorry, I won't do that. The next one was magnet-operated parade floats. I believe this was second grade on this one, but they were studying magnets and how magnets work. And so I first just gave them a variety of magnets and said, I want you to figure out how to make a move. You can't use your hands to make a move, but you have to figure it out. And so after we gave them that and they played with them, they came up with all kinds of ways to make the magnets move. Some put the magnets on top of the paper and below the paper and had them attract and move it across the paper that way. And then others found out that when you place north and north, they will repel, and so you can move it that way. And this is a sweet little girl explaining how she figured it out.
We put the two magnets north and north together, and we put one above the magnet, and we put it close to the other magnet. We made it move because it pushed it.
Which matched completely with what they were studying in class, but yet is also a maker activity. Because then we took a brown paper sack and had them create a parade float with balloons over Broadway. And they had to trace out their parade route, and then they had to switch groups and try and follow another group's parade route, how they drew it out on their grid paper. And also during our Christmas week or Winter Wonderland week, we did antlers for Max. So in the Grinch's story, he gives Max an antler. So we had the kids design their own antlers for Max, but they had to persuade the Grinch to choose their antlers. Because they were working on persuasion. And I have to show you some of these cute videos.
Mr. Grinch, you should choose all answers because they were epic, cool, and tough. This is good because the answers can help him fight off like predators that try to eat him.
Yes. So as you can imagine, the first time we did it, all of them just said the antlers were epic and cool. And then we said, that's not really persuading us to choose your antlers. So how are you going to persuade us? So then it was a great activity to make them dig deeper. And then I wanted to show you a third grader's response. It's pretty classic as well.
For sitting as this, birds can sit on it right here. And for the charge, the wires can charge your phone while you and the phone meaning as if your phone right here in this blank area.
And she won. The Grinch chose her antlers because, of course, we all need a phone charger when delivering presents. So that just shows they're so creative. We loved it. Yes. Educreations. Yes. And we love Educreations because all of the kids were on the iPads doing their videos, and it saved straight into my account. So then I don't have to go back to the iPads and try and get all of them off. It went straight online, and I was able to grab them that way. And they can write on it. They can use audio. It's a great app.
That was education creation.
Educreations? Educreations, yes.
All right, so like we mentioned before, we both just have free open maker times. So on Wednesday afternoons, I keep my library open for 45 minutes, and the students can come in and just free play with all of the different activities we have. They love the Legos. We've explored some with stop motion. And it is awesome to see some of the things that first and second graders will come up with stop motion with Legos. Connect, makey-makeys, 3D doodle pins. We got a couple of Osmos, and the kids love the Osmos. And these are just a couple of pictures of the kids doing some of the activities, the Osmos, gears. And then, like I said, the makey-makey, they got really, really excited about it. So I had some oranges in the library, and they were very proud that they figured out how to make a piano from oranges. His little grin is just classic. He's like, I'm playing the piano. And that was really their first, that day had been their first experience with a makey-makey, and they just went with it.
And we also stay open on Wednesdays on my campus. Her campus has about 450 students.
Closer to six.
Okay, 600, and mine has 800 or so. And so it's a little different. We have to work things differently, which is great. And so for me, I tried to leave it open, but I wanted to make sure that parents knew that their kids were staying after school. So I had them just sign a permission slip, and then I said, you can also come with your child. Well, the first day back, I had 30 slips come back. And so I was like, oh, that's great, okay. So they all came, and then the next day I had 80, and then the next day I had 100. And so I said, this is not going to be possible this way. So we kept with the first 30, and they came every day, and then some parents would come with their kids as well, which was great. But then this semester, we have started a STEAM club. The art teacher on our campus has partnered with me. And so after school, we now do STEAM activities together, which we've only done it twice now, but it has been amazing. So here's a couple of pictures of, here we use Little Bits. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. I bought it with my Scholastic money. I chose to get money instead of product. And then my principal at the time also helped me purchase them to get a full classroom set. But I challenged the kids in our after school, we are makers, to create a fish food feeder And of course, I gave them like the example of how it turns and you can feed it. And they went a whole different direction with it. I wanted to show you what they came up with. This video is pretty good. Maybe. It's okay.
It's moving. It's moving.
So they created a conveyor belt to feed the fish, which blew my mind. So they're still working on a device to put on top of the fish bowl so it doesn't fall into the water, but we're getting there. So that was one of their creations. And then this last week in our STEAM club, Miss Lamb talked about pop art with the kids. And we had them create giant Hershey Kisses using foil and paper and tape. And she told them that it was about popular items within our culture. And then we used Scratch to code them to use our Makey Makey. And so now it's an interactive display within the library that the kids can come in and use. So here's an example of him using it at our display area. It's kind of hard to see, sorry. So there's a heart on the screen, and then as he touches the kisses, it's controlling the heart. And so he changes color, he says hello, and it makes noises. So then this last week, I let the kids in STEAM Club create their own codes using Scratch. If you just Google Scratch, it'll come up. It's from MIT, so it's like scratch.mit.edu, I believe. But we have a coding class on campus during our specials time. And so as soon as I showed the kids, they were like, oh yeah, that's coding, we know how. I was like, okay. So mine was very simple that I created, and then they took it a whole another level. So I wanted to show their examples. You may have to press it.
Space.
It's just
There it goes. Okay.
and press the space. So they did the space bar and the right arrows. It says, check out these sick moves, man, yeah. And then we have a dancing unicorn. So they made him, they did backgrounds, they came up with music. They really went all out with it.
All right, so we have put some of the other activities that we have done. We have more. We just don't have enough time to go over all of them, but we created a Pinterest board that we will continue to add to as we do activities, and we went ahead and separated them by content area. So we have all our language arts and all our math and all our science, and then just our free maker activities that we've been doing on a different board. And then before we do that, let's demo a couple of things real quick. So we need, kisses, 3 volunteers?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. 3 people that want to play with the kisses. Come, yes, 1, 2, 3, okay.
I may have to.
Left or right space, I'll take these out.
We just need,
Left or right space, got it.
yeah. You're gonna be, yes.
This one on the side.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. All right, and then you'll go back to one of the scratch any of those.
We'll do the unicorn.
Do the sure, do the unicorn. He's I think she only did 2 of them on that one.
Okay, let's do the 3 then. Okay.
Do the library, yeah, either one. Yeah, do either one.
Okay, I'll do the dance. Okay.
I mean, the unicorn's cute too. I can change it. I think she did the up arrow.
All right.
Okay, press the green.
Got it.
Perfect. Okay. You have to touch her though. Yeah, there you go.
She has to be holding them. Moving around.
No, there it goes, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so do they, on their scratch coding, do they do an event? So every time the dinosaur moved, it was an event?
Yeah.
Or whatever? Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yes. Oh, they were dancing.
All right.
Can you show us the inside
Of Scratch? Yeah.
All right, so she has to see the inside of Scratch, what it looked like from the coding part. So she's gonna real quick log into that so you guys can see what that looks like. Where is login? Is your screen bigger? Zoom across the bottom. I did. Just go to Scratch. Yeah. There's a login somewhere, but for some reason on her screen, I don't think it's showing. Are you? Yeah, 150. There it is. So I made a library login of just Library Clark and then Go Lions one, which is our students. They know that password. And so that way all of them, as they create, they come into my account and I can see what they're making and help them use them. Oops. Tito was trying to take over. So here are all the ones that they have made. And so it comes up like this. Like here's our unicorn. So here's what the coding looks like. So you have events, control, motion, look, sound, and we started with events because we knew we were going to be plugged into the space, to the right arrow, and to the left arrow, which this lets you do that. So when the space key is pressed, and then you add your action to it. So all you have to do is you drag this over to the playing field or to the action field. And then to make it do something, you choose a look, a sound, a motion to make it do something. So they love the dance, celebrate, all kinds of songs. You can also make it say hello. Let's see, she did a sound, so I'll do hello. And you just click it into place. And so now whenever I press the space key, it's gonna say hello, but it also plays a song because up above it, she has the space key playing the sound. The other thing she has is a down arrow. So when you press the down arrow, she wrote in for it to say, I'm the epic unicorn, I fly, I'll show you all, I told you. So that's, that's what she wrote in for her down arrow. And then for the right arrow key, she has it turning 15 degrees and moving 25 steps. So as you press the right arrow, it does a circle, which she loved with her music. So he's dancing. So that's kind of what the inside of Scratch looks like. And it's also with coding. So if y'all don't have a coding class, I would encourage you to talk to your districts about using that for one of their specials classes or trying to get it. It has been wonderful. So code.org offers all the lessons and everything for you for free. I mean, I haven't done code.org, but I came in and figured it out. So I would say don't go there. I would say come straight to Scratch and let them play and explore. They figured all this out. I just showed them mine and they were like, oh yeah, they played with it and figured it out. And even if you put some of the actions in there wrong, it won't do them because they're not in the right order. And they figured that part out and started rearranging them to make it work. So I would say you can go straight here and begin with coding here. Okay, we have just enough time that if some of you have never played with a Makey and want to create the human piano, we have just enough time to do that. So the human piano takes 5 different people, and then I'll ground us as the 6th person. So 1, 2, 3, 2 more people, 4, 5. All right.
You may have to explain. Yeah, I've got it in there, or you just got to Makey piano.
Okay.
All right.
So when you use the Makey, you need to be grounded to earth. So one person will hold on to the metal portion of the earth piece. And then everyone else, if they're touching them, because the power runs from the computer through the circuit board and through the cords, but if you're not touching him, you don't have any power, so you cannot manipulate it, which is great science right there in itself.
Hold the metal.
Oh, you're controlling it. I was like,
I know.
wait, it's moving.
So yeah, I'm gonna Makey /piano.
Let me go to piano. Yeah.
Just have the metal part. So you're not doing it.
One more.
We're both controlling. There we go.
All right, so basically I'm the one that's grounding it right here. There's a bottom row here that's earth. And then if each of them hold their hands out, I can like play them like a human piano.
So you hold the other hand out.
Do it again. Do it again.
Chopsticks.
Can you slide your hands across like a really like snazzy piano player?
Yeah.
Here we go.
I am so not musical.
Who's musical? Let them hold the ground.
I'm
Oh, I can try. Let me
He's
try.
got
Let me
this.
try.
He's got it.
All right.
See if I can do it. That's all I can do. How much does a Makey cost?
They are $79, I believe.
Okay.
And Best Buy. Or you want me to say that part? Yeah. We purchased our Makey through Best Buy Education or their school account, and I believe they were $79 a piece. But they were excellent to work with. We were able to order it nicely, quickly, and they sent it to us, and they're one of our vendors for our school. So that worked great for us. Yeah.
And I just have to say, the kids, it was the greatest way to introduce circuits. They loved it that they were the circuit, and then, you know, I would let go of something and I'm like, hey, figure out why is the piano not working anymore? And they absolutely loved it. I had one teacher that took it to a whole different level. They were studying solar system, and she's like, so how does this relate? And they made these really awesome connections like, well, the computer is kind of like the sun, and it's, you know, bringing everything together and it's giving the energy. And so they made all kinds of really awesome connections with it. Presentation. And then we have like 4 minutes, so we would really appreciate it if you guys would go back to that Padlet. If you haven't shared anything, and share maybe some aha moments, maybe something you're gonna try, maybe something you have tried that you want to share with us. And then, like I said, feel free to tweet out this link to this Padlet, because we'd like people to add maker ideas to it throughout the whole day. And have an awesome rest of the day.
Yeah. And we would love for you to follow us. We will follow you back on Twitter. It's a great resource. So follow us. We'll follow you.